Hi, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to Snatch. I know I said I'd take a break this week, but I just had to do another look today. Drag Race UK and Drag Race 13 didn't really inspire me with looks, so I'm going to do my own thing. Okay, I'm just going to do a Chinese New Year look. I'm going to do an Ox Girl, okay, for the Chinese New Year Oxtravaganza. And I'll be talking about Drag Race as well, why not? And it's Valentine's Day, so I'm going to do some sort of a cutesy heart motif or something. So don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and ring that bell for post notifications. Alright, let's get started. Alright, brows are gone. Let's just get right into this. It's Chinese New Year, so for Chinese New Year, I want to do a cow look. I've done a Juno Birch look before, and I did a brown cow stunning look referencing Monique Hart before. So today I want to do something completely different, so I'm taking my inspiration from a highland bull, alright? With a big fringe and a nose ring. We'll see how it goes. And since it's Valentine's Day, I thought, why not do something heart related? Prime my faces. Drag Race this week was an improv challenge, okay? So in Drag Race 13, they had to do Bossy Rossi After Dark and then do a beaded runway. Not very exciting. Lalari went home, sadly, okay? And in Drag Race UK was more exciting, okay? They had a gag of the lockdown, okay? And they had to pause filming for like 7 months, okay? And then when they came back, they were almost like completely new people. And they were thrown in to do a Ruru Vision song and dance extravaganza. And they did a day at the beach for the runway. Okay, and Joe Black, of course, as I predicted, was voted back in to take part in the competition again. Soft beige. And this week, RuPaul was not taking any prisoners in the UK, where she blasted them all for wearing off-the-rack stuff after Estina Mandela won wearing ASOS jacket. Just saying. Alright, gonna pounce that in with my Maybelline. Okay, yeah, so Drag Race Season 13. They come back into the workroom after last week, and Tina Burner's wig's looking very, very rough. Poor thing. Yeah, their wig was not it. There's a little bit here about Elliot being sad that he's being left out and not connecting with the others. There have been some really disturbing things coming out about Elliot with 2 T's online, okay? Apparently she's been saying a lot of racially charged and very insensitive comments to the other girls, okay? Candy Muse has gone on Instagram Live and actually said that Elliot with 2 T's have been calling her ghetto and calling Simone's durag thing ratchet. And there's some of these old Instagram posts where she's posting things about Barbie dolls and Caitlyn Jenner which seem a bit racist and transphobic. And Candy Muse was saying that when in the workroom when she was telling Elliot to read the room and to gauge what's going on, this is what she was meaning, okay? Because she was saying all these very racially charged things. Apparently, Elliot has not learned since then, okay? And she hasn't said anything. She hasn't come out to address any of this yet, which is quite upsetting. It's strange because, she did go on Tamisha Iman's talk show, so Tamisha Iman seems to be okay with her. Really have to wait for her to address this. Okay, going to contour my V21 today. That's probably why, she's not connecting with the other girls, which is, something that we don't hear. So the next day, they come in and it's a reading challenge. Okay, the reading challenge in the last few seasons have been a bit disappointing. You can tell some of the girls with the means and the connections have been coming in with, I'm sure, pre-written jokes. Okay, Gottmik won the reading challenge, but I think a lot of her jokes were actually written for her. She's calling Utica weird, comparing it to RuPaul coming in with cargo shorts. I mean, that was a trunk joke, which she could have got someone else to write, her comedian friends to write for her, and all she had to do was pick the weird queen. Right? Whereas Denali referenced people's dancing in the previous challenge, right? About the twerking. So that was a little bit more specific at least. And in previous seasons when Jujubee was doing all her reads and everything, those seem so much more organic and so much more really cunty and really bitchy. Whereas now it seems like just a mini roast. Highlight with this dose of colors. Concealer. Okay, gonna do a button nose today, so a bit of a disconnect here. Okay, and during the challenge, Candy Muse seems to have forgotten about Joey J and now he's after Utica. And apparently Utica has a big one, according to Candy Muse. Okay, so now that's highlighted. I'm just going to contour the nose a little bit with a V21 as well. Here they also show Elliot not being very good at reading. Contour the tip of the nose as well, just to give it a little upturn cow look. Probably won't be able to see my brows very much, but might as well just draw them in. Let's put on these face tapes first. And so in Drag Race 13, they were teamed up according to how they were standing, okay, to mix it up a bit for the improv challenge of Bossy Rossi After Dark. Gottmik, Utica, and Olivia Lux were paired up together, and they're like my 3 favorite queens at the moment, so I'm very happy to see them work together. And Tina Burner was paired up with Elliot, and he wasn't happy about that. And the rest were okay. Okay, so Denali and Rosé, again, they seem to have formed a bond, okay? They seem to be always safe, but they seem to think they should be doing better than they actually are. So you see, contoured this kind of nose, this makes it a bit more button. Okay, and then so using the B21, I'm going to give myself a brow. Quite a regular brow today. Probably won't be able to see the brow very much anyway. Okay, yeah, and here, Olivia Lux seems to, as they say, be a bit of a stealth diva. She's so sweet and so polite and everything, but she knows what she wants and she'll get what she wants, okay? When they were fighting for parts, both her and Utica, for the mime part, watch out for Olivia Lux. She's gonna be quite the contender. Okay, just highlighting my brow now. So during the challenge, I think Olivia Lux did okay. Okay, she was very smart to choose the mime role. She didn't have any lines. She just had to do a lot of physical comedy. But in the end, she gets a musical score. So the editors just add in this, like, you know, French music and French funny music, all the sound effects and everything. So it makes it look funnier than it probably actually is, okay? And that's how they edited to make her look like she's gonna win. I didn't think Gottmik was very good. Gottmik seemed a bit lost in the challenge, and her responses seemed quite canned. Okay, so now using the white, just gonna highlight this down the middle. And Utica, yeah, Utica was a little bit messy. She did say in the confessional that she was a scene stealer and the people will keep up with her, and that was perfect. Perfect fodder for the editing to make her look, you know, ridiculous that she didn't do as well. But I didn't think she did that bad. She just was a little bit more disorganized, okay, when she played the mother. But that was a completely different character that I didn't expect Utica to do. Okay, so I think we're ready to powder. I didn't think Candy Muse was good at all, okay? They are obviously trying to force us to believe that Candy Muse was supposed to be good in the challenge, when I think she was really, really terrible. She wasn't improving very much at all with Ross. She was just having these one-word answers, this kind of a very lost look on her face. And then they gave her such amazing critiques on the main stage, which I think they didn't mean. You can see Michelle Visage when she was giving Candy Muse her critiques, her face was dead, okay? I think she was forced to say that to give Candy Muse a good edit, a good storyline this week. Now he's going in with some RCMA. Alright, so I'm just gonna let that bake for a while and I'll be right back. Alright, so blended all the powders together. So now I'm just going to go into my eyes. Since you won't see much of my eyes because of my massive Highland bowl bangs, I'm going to try some new techniques in my eyes today that I always want to try. I'm just going to see where I can draw the crease in completely with a pencil first and just smudge it out and see how that looks, okay? I'm going for kind of a doll-like country gal kind of look, okay? Cowgirl. So I'm just going to use this Powell pencil. Warm brown is a BH Cosmetics one. I'm just going to draw this massive crease, okay? Following the socket, just above the socket. Let's match this to the side. So those are kind of like my creases. After they finished doing their improv, they had a main stage. A main stage is the beaded main stage, and they basically came out in bead looks. None of them really exciting, okay? And now you can start seeing that, you know, because the queens have the same designers and the queens have all the same inspirations, a lot of these things are starting to look very samey, and there are a lot of repeated stuff on the runway, not just here but in Drag Race UK as well. Yeah, and as they're getting ready, Simone has this really intricate way that she's contouring, okay? She has this tiny white line here that she draws. I'm really wondering how she does it, because I do cut my cheeks sometimes also, but she does it so gently. It's really precise what she's doing. I really like it. Okay, and then Tina Burner and Elliot have this thing about clinical depression. That's very important to talk about, that clinical depression is chemical imbalance and sometimes you can't control it. But Elliot shouldn't be using this as an excuse for his behavior, okay? I really hope that they bring that up at some point. Okay, I'm going to use my Sample Beauty. I'm going to use this Truffle, which is a warm brown, just to blend out this shadow here. Okay, and keep it tight. Okay, so it's not a very big crease today. Okay, so on the main stage, the beaded challenge. First is Denali. She comes in this chandelier look. She said this was the best look that she brought and she wanted to be critiqued and should have wanted to win for it. It's a nice look, the concept is great, but I think the execution is a little bit lacking, okay? This is Drag Race. The things that coming off her were really bare. For drag chandelier, I really wanted more. Okay, I'm just going to release this first. Okay, so it's not pulling on my face so much. Just blending out this. Okay, I'm trying to sample beauty again with some different techniques. It's a really, really good palette. Blends really, really well. Next down the runway is Rosé in this quite simple little structured thing with all the beads. Can't really see the beads in this, okay, until you told her, and not a very exciting look. But she did do this spin off the runway again, okay. I think she's trying to make that her thing, that because she got good reactions to it last time. Good thing she didn't do it down the runway. Okay, and then La Larry comes out in this beaded fringe Mardi Gras thing. A lot of them came out in Mardi Gras beads, okay, when they heard beads, a lot of them, 3 of them taught Mardi Gras, both her, Elliot, and Tina Burner. Elliot's is probably my favorite out of them 3. Elliot came out in this very, very flapper-like, very, very well-tailored beaded thing. She looked really, really good. Tina Burner was awful. Tina Burner came out in this clown. I think Tina Burner is trying to use the myth of the clown, you know? Every time someone dresses as a clown on Drag Race, they win, okay? So I think everyone comes packing a clown outfit at some point so they can continue this if they win, okay? But she looked quite messy, okay, and her makeup wasn't great, okay. Her makeup for this clown makeup was very slapdash, no dimension. It was just this purple triangle. She should have done either glitter or something that didn't translate onto the main stage. Gottmik comes out in this anal beads thing, which has been done by Latrice already. Okay, this I think is by Venus Prototype, which is Loris's company. Loris from Dragula. This is probably the only one that came out with something where beads weren't literal beads. Okay, these were like anal beads, which I think was quite clever for Gottmik to do. And here's another repeat things. Olivia Lux comes out with a wig that Candy Muse has already worn. Okay, almost identical wigs. They're not exactly the same. Candy Muse is obviously bigger, but it's almost identical, okay? This like Harlem, the Bronx kind of little girl playing hopscotch in the street kind of look. Okay, so Olivia Lux, poor Olivia Lux. I mean, she had the whole boxing look, which Simone already did, and now the hair. And they don't even address it at all, okay? I don't know why. They're probably gearing her up to win. Let's go in again with an even fluffier brush. I'm just going to blend it out again with Spud. Cutting the crease with my Acid Rain. Well, next comes Utica in this wedding gown. There are definitely beads there, but it seems like we've seen this before many times also. Okay, last season there was a whole runway also. Okay, and with all the blood and everything, it was similar to that. Good thing she was safe this week. I wonder how much longer they're going to give Utica a pass. Okay, and also going to fill in those brows with a bit of truffle and a little bit of Insta. Candy Muse comes out in this expensive-y looking thing, okay? Another one, the hat's been done before. Tina Burner just did this with a houndstooth look. I wonder how the queens feel whenever they're unpacking and they see all these like similar looks in other queens' suitcases. And they were raving about this look also. I didn't think it was that great, okay? She was obviously draped herself in this like fur thing you could probably buy off Amazon because it was probably not fitting very well in some places, okay? It didn't move or anything. Her hat, you could see some parts that weren't really tucked in properly. The beads look really, really sparse. They really seemed like they wanted to give Candy Muse some sort of really, really good edit this week, which I think wasn't really deserved. So now I'm just going to connect this liner. Simone comes in a very nice custom hair bead dress. Simone is using a lot of very interesting hair techniques in all her looks. Last week she did this hair, the RuPaul's Back to My Roots hairs, and a hair dress. And now this is hair beads with a name spelled out in the back. So very clever, very, very beautiful. I thought Simone should have won this week. She's absolutely gorgeous as well. And you can see her skin is glistening from head to toe. She's not wearing pads, okay, but she looks amazing anyway. La Larry and Elliot end up in the bottom 2. Olivia Lux wins. Yeah, here you can tell on the lip sync, La Larry is starting to look a little bit more desperate. Her hair, she's worn this hair before, okay, she wore it for her Bag of Bones challenge, and there it looked really nice and full. Here it's starting to look a bit frayed on the edges. She didn't brush it out properly. Elliot, unfortunately, I do agree that Elliot probably won this lip sync, okay? He was much more controlled, and she also showed up La Larry by every time La Larry did a move, Elliot was right there, doing it better in a more controlled way. So Elliot won. It's unfortunate, okay, that Elliot with his current controversy sent back a black queen, okay. I hope Elliot does come out to address all these things soon. On Drag Race, very, very rarely does a white queen send a black queen home. Elliot, I hope you make this worth it, okay, and come out and apologize for the things you said, or at least, you know, show some growth. Yep, Untucked wasn't super exciting. Okay, in Untucked here, Tina Burner does defend Elliot when the other queens are coming for his look. Okay, so I think because of that time they had in the workroom, but not for long. So a very dollsy look. Very simple today. Okay, the main thing will be the under eye because my bangs will go right up to there and then you just see the under eye. So I'm just going to extend this out. Yeah, so LaLaurie goes home, and here LaLaurie, in her latest Watch Your Packing with Michelle Visage, actually addresses her relationship with Tamisha Iman. Apparently, they fell out, okay? Apparently, after Tamisha Iman put her in drag for the first time, they fell out and never spoke for many, many years until they came onto this show. I think they were cast because they wanted that drama, but you know, the drama never occurred. I think these two were mature enough not to talk about it on camera. And Tamisha Iman left, so I think they probably thought they didn't need LaLaurie anymore, so sent her home next. So poor LaLaurie, okay? She's super entertaining. I'm going to miss her. Smoke this out a little bit. Almost quite Twiggy-like already. Alright, so just going to move right on to Drag Race UK. So Drag Race UK, as I mentioned earlier, they come in from the workroom and they announce that they have to stop filming and they have to all go home. Okay, bring the drag home because the panoramic has made it mandatory that they stop filming, and RuPaul was probably sent back to America where she came to film Drag Race Season 13. And during the special where the girls were filming their quarantine experience, you could see a lot of them were struggling. Okay, Bimini Bonbulash mentions later that they realized how easily that they are made disposable, okay, drag queens and live performers. I mean, in Singapore, we are not even allowed live performances yet either, okay? So it's been quite a while, okay? I really would like to get back on stage at some point too, but you know, we have to make do with this. I'm just gonna fill this here in with white. Okay, so yeah, during the lockdown, you can see poor Veronica Green, she was so depressed. She was doing so well, and then she had to leave on a note where she was fighting with the rest of the queens. And then she couldn't get out of bed and she was so depressed. And then at the end of it all, she finds out she tests positive for COVID, so she can't come back to the competition. I wonder whether that really put her into an even more deeper funk. And let's set that with white. Okay, using canvas. Yeah, and Tia Coffee was quite upset also when she was told that Veronica Green wasn't going to come back to the competition. But now she knows that she has to stand on her own 2 feet. And she claims that she's no longer Baroness Basic. We'll see about that. Here, Ru brings back in the eliminated queens, okay? Minus Ginny Lemon because she eliminated herself. It's quite nice to see him again, and as I predicted, they voted Joe Black back. I think he deserved to be there. He's such a legend, and we're very lucky to see more of him. And Joe Black and Lawrence Chaney, since Lawrence Chaney won last week's episode, they get to pick their teams. And Lawrence Chaney chooses the 3 skinny, sexy bitches. At first I thought, why are you doing that? But you know, it was super smart because he can stand out without doing very much anything. And according to his latest YouTube video, he chose them according to their talents. So Ahura for the costumes, Taste for the dancing, and Bimini for her rapping and for her energy. And because these 3 skinny bitches, and they've been posting lots of really skinny, sexy looks together, they look completely different from him. So he'll stand out without doing very much at all, which was super smart. Okay, and of course they're shading the other team, calling them the Nans, calling them the old golden girls because they're old, that's a bit ageist. And I'm just going to draw on more lashes. These eyes are starting to look quite Egyptian, like some sort of Egyptian symbol. Okay, so yeah, so they had to do their Ruru Vision song, they had to record a number. Obviously, they just picked and chose bits to make Joe Black looked like he was struggling. He's a musician himself. I don't think he was going to struggle that much. But yeah, they made it look like he couldn't get the timing for his verse. Okay, so that's my under eye. Okay, I just did a quick contour off camera, okay? Contoured my button nose as well. And I'm just going to go in a really heavy blush. I'm actually going to use the Sample Beauty palette, okay? And let's go ham with the pinks, the 2 pinks called Bonbon and Jojo. Bring this right across. Okay, yeah, so the Ruru Vision songs, United King Dolls definitely stood out, okay? They definitely were the better team, okay? Their verses were better, the dancing was better, they were much more cohesive. You could tell from Ru's face, and they kept showing Ru's expression. She was so entertained by the United King dolls, and when the banana drama came on, her face was just so black, okay? It was like so bored and so confused. Yeah, I think they're really telegraphing Ru did not like what she saw. Even though she called out Joe Black for wearing H&M, okay? Ellie Diamond's outfit wasn't great either, okay? And you know, you can't blame Joe Black. According to an interview, Joe Black only found out 3 weeks before filming restarted that he was going to come back. And by then he had sold most of his outfits to make money because he was so broke during lockdown. Okay, so he had to get things back together. And you know, Ru flew all the way from US, okay? So she probably did feel like the queen should have put in more effort, but you know, I think to call Joe Black out for that was a little bit harsh. Okay, she did apologize in the end, which was good, but you know, a lot of people are saying this is very classist of Ru. You don't have to perpetuate the myth that drag has to be expensive. You should reuse things as much as you can, okay? And you have to use garbage as much as you can and everything. Is there enough blush? Okay, and I'm also going to use the pink to contour a little bit. Just to give that a little bit more dimension. And really contour the bottom, okay? Because it's supposed to be like a cow. Okay, I'm going to use my pen, my new Colourpop freckle pen, just to give myself a lot of freckles. Okay, and so the runway this week was a day by the sea, okay? And here you can see two queens being influenced by each other. Here, it seemed like Sister saw a Horus outfit before lockdown and went back and did her own version of it, which was not cool, okay? They all called her out for it. Pat that down. And then go into some white as well. And Sister seems to have come back with like a completely different person, right? I think she's a real bitch now. I mean, she got her new teeth and everything, and she's being really mean and being really entitled to the other girls, okay? And even before they went home, she was already not being very pleasant to Veronica Green. So I don't think she's a very nice person, actually. Starting to show, okay? So hopefully she changes. If not, she's not going to be here for very long. And for the other looks, they all look great. I think Taste was my favorite, okay? She had this really nice netting look and all rhinestone and gorgeous and everything. And RuPaul said, what's her net worth? I thought hers was the nicest. I think I like hers very much. And Bimini as well. Bimini had this very powder blue kind of lacy thing. A little bit similar silhouette to her ball challenge. Maybe she was very inspired and went back after the ball to make a whole bunch of outfits in that style. Okay, Lawrence Chaney's I didn't really like. Okay, it seemed like she was going for this latex thing with a lifesaver and everything. She actually had this bejeweled netting as well, but you can't really tell. I thought hers didn't look that great. Joe Black was quite fun. Okay, Joe Black did this rushing around in the wind thing, but unfortunately Chelsea Boy already did that on Drag Race Holland. Okay, but Joe Black didn't copy him, okay? Because in the first episode, you can actually see that Joe Black has that same wig, okay, on the shelf. And Drag Race Holland aired in between, okay? And Cherry Valentine on Instagram actually has shown that she was almost about to do a look like this as well, almost identical to Joe Black. So, you know, a lot of these queens are starting to copy each other, either unconsciously or consciously, I don't know, but you know, I think it's time for Drag Race to shake things up to make queens, you know, I don't know, make stuff all the time, like a live-in Project Runway thing, so that they make more things instead of bringing stuff that looks like other people's items all the time. I don't know. What do you think? Sound off in the comments below. Okay, I'm gonna mix in a little bit of white and pink. Strawberry milkshake. Now with the pink, my Glisten Cosmetics pink liner, I'm just gonna draw a few hearts here and there. Okay, yeah, so that's Drag Race and Drag Race UK. What do you guys think? Do you think Ru was right for calling out H&M? So I think I'm just going to draw a few more hearts on my face and throw on some finishing touches, a very simple lip, and I'll be back with the finished look. Alright, and this is the finished look. Highland Bowl in full drag for Chinese New Year extravaganza. And a bit of a Valentine's Day heart shape there. And that was my snatches and scratches of this week's Drag Race and Drag Race UK. This ring is held together by eyelash glue. Who do you think should have been top and the bottom this week? Sound off in the comments below. Alright, and if you like this video, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and ring that bell for post notifications. Alright, let's keep moving and I'll see you next week. Bye! Hear me from a mile away. I'm utterly beautiful. Happy New Year. New is cow in Chinese.
Like you, girl, you're so hot like summer. You're everything I ever wanted.
Check out my other videos. I did an Ursula look from last week's Monster Mashup Drag Race, and I did a Utica inspired outfit here for the Ball Challenge. See you next time. Bye. Oh, oops.